Hi, I'm Dr. Challa Krishnaveer Abhishek. So, welcome to this MOOC course on natural language processing. I'm a linguist cum soft skills trainer. So, we all know that text is the largest repository of human knowledge. The data or the text is the new oil, and we have large chunks of data, large chunks of text, millions and billions and trillions of texts that would be very difficult for us to process. So for that we need NLP. So when it comes to where NLP is used, you might have seen audio text instructions. For example, on Google search engine, when you give instructions, verbal instructions, it automatically searches. So it is converting your verbatim into text. So similarly, in Gmail, in Yahoo, in Outlook, you have smart reply responses. When people, especially professors, are not available, when they are out on a vacation, generally, they use this smart reply response where when a student mails them, automatically they get a revert mail saying that they're out of station and they'll be processing or looking at the email on a later date. So similarly, spam email identification. With the help of NLP, the spam email, they automatically go to the spam folder. And Google Translate, it's the best example of NLP. We can translate into 100 different languages from one language to another language. This is a wonderful technology of machine translation, machine learning. And then you have Google Assistant, you have Siri in Apple, and you have Google Assistant who assist you in different things. You can ask questions and they give you answers. You can have interactive conversations like you're having with a human. Similarly, Google also has new auto summary function wherein you have a Google Doc, you have written a big article, have written a big book, then you can summarize that, and at the same time during Google Meets, Zoom meeting and all the discussions can be summarized in Google Chat. So behind all these applications, NLP technology plays a very crucial role. So in NLP applications, you also have something called entity linking and information extraction. So for example, there's a lot of information in a book, but I want to specifically know about a person called John. Then it will tag everything to John, all the information related to John, and then it will extract that information related to John. So similarly, text summarization and text classification. So for example, if I need something which happened today, then so today's information would be processed and sent to me. If I need something which happened tomorrow, then tomorrow's information would be processed and sent to me. So similarly, if I want to know something about John's information would be processed and sent to me and summarized and sent to me. Similarly, if I want to know something about Paul's related information would be summarized and sent to me. So in entity linking, all these repetitive conjunctions, prepositions, articles and all these will be taken away, and only the relevant information will be given to us. And also you have sentiment analysis and opinion mining. So basically about different products, about different services, we generally give reviews. The reviews need not be on a scale of 1 to 5 or the best to the worst or strongly agree to strongly disagree or neutral. It can sometimes be in a prose format where you type text about the product. So it is very difficult for the companies to understand what people think about, what the sentiment, what the popular sentiment of the people, what is the popular opinion of the people. So for that sentiment analysis, so the popular sentiment of the people through their reviews is analyzed by NLP, and also auto completion. So for example, when you're typing something on a search engine, you will be getting a lot of ideas, lot of completions. For example, today if I am searching about root canal extraction or some root canal treatment or wisdom tooth extraction. So if I type just wisdom tooth, extraction will be suggested to me. Similarly, if I type root canal, automatically root canal treatment or therapy would be suggested to me. So that is auto completion, and lot of other things can be suggested also when you are searching on Google and on different other platforms. So information extraction is the basic thing of NLP, because it's very difficult for us to find that information which we are actually looking for, instead of getting gallons of information which is not worthy at all. So for that, NLP plays a very major role. Similarly, in NLP, it can be sometimes challenging also. For example, you take lexical ambiguity. There's one example, if you see in the PowerPoint, it says wills will. So everything is will here, but if you see, there's one will before the comma, he is a person, and the other will is actually future tense auxiliary verb. It's a verb. And then the other will with a capital W is the second person, and the other will is actually two, and the other will is actually the third person. Will's will means the second person's will or document. So lexical ambiguity, is a major problem in NLP. And the new technologies in NLP, in natural language processing, new computational linguistic technologies are able to identify this, and basically they are improving the human computer interaction. So wills will. So will, two wills will, his will. So there are three people, and another person, outside person, is asking will whether, and the second will would give his will to the third will. So that is the meaning. So for this, new type of programs are being developed so that we can analyze this. And there's also syntactic ambiguity. What is syntactic? Syntax means meaning. So for example, if you have, I made her duck. So if you just say I made her duck, there are a lot of meanings actually. I cooked duck for her. Maybe I cooked duck for her. That might be the meaning of I made her duck. Or I cooked duck that is belonging to her. So now this duck is hers duck. So I cooked duck which belonged to her. In the first one, I cooked duck for her. It is my duck. I bought the duck and I cooked for her. And similarly, the third scenario can be, I created the duck she owns. I created the artificial duck. So I made her duck means I created a duck using crochet, using the wool. I created using yarn. I created a duck for her. So, or I caused her to quickly lower her head or body. I made her duck means lowering your head or body, because something is approaching you, so you have to lower your head or body in order to protect you. So I made her duck, or I pushed her down. So it can mean that also. And I waved my magic wand and turned her into a duck. I made her a duck, abracadabra, and then she became a duck. So there are a lot of meanings for I made her a duck. So imagine how confusing it would be for the NLP. So now with the advent of technology, in Python also the programming and all are so sophisticated that, we can conquer the syntactic ambiguity. And also there is language ambiguity. So what is language ambiguity? So language ambiguity is the man saw the boy with binoculars. This is an example. The man saw the boy with the binoculars. So it might mean that the man saw a boy who is wearing binoculars, or who is seeing through binoculars, or who possesses binoculars, or who has binoculars. Or the man saw the boy with the binoculars might also mean that the man saw the boy using binoculars. So the man has the binoculars. So the meaning is completely changed. So what's the context? It's very difficult to understand. So NLP, it's very challenging for NLP sometimes. The programming is actually very strong that, it can fix all these problems. And it is very, very efficient. So there's another example of flying planes can be dangerous. So flying planes can be dangerous means flying the planes can be dangerous, or planes which are flying can be dangerous. So there are two meanings again. So which meaning to take? There's a lot of confusion, a lot of ambiguity. So NLP has a lot of challenges, but definitely it is proving to be our best bet, our best assistant And this artificial intelligence revolution that's happening, it's helping us a lot. So for example, natural language is a sequence. The order of the words also matter. So for example, in English, the order of the words is basically subject, verb, object. Okay. So for example, just look at the sentence. A dog is chasing a person. Subject, a dog is chasing. Verb, a person. Object. So similarly, if you don't follow this rule, if you say, for example, a person is chasing a dog, the meaning has changed. Dog is a person, a chasing, the meaning has changed. So subject, object, verb, the meaning changes. Object, subject, verb, the meaning changes. Object, verb, subject, the meaning changes. It has to be subject, verb, and object. So while giving instructions also, or while giving data also, we should see to it that we follow the grammar rules. The grammatical, the semantic, the syntactic, and the grammatical rules have to be followed, along with the phonetic, phonology, and pragmatics. So therefore, the proper sequencing is very, very important and plays a crucial role in natural language. So here, the next slide, we have function words and content words. So what are function words? Function words are those words which repeat again and again. You have conjunctions, you have articles, a, and, the, is, was, were. So these conjunctions, prepositions, on, upon, in. These are function words which connect the sentences. Okay. And similarly, we have content words. Content words are basically the proper nouns, the names which actually matter, the real information, the topic sentence which actually matters. So here you have something called type token ratio. What is type token ratio? TTR. So type token ratio is basically the number of different words by the total number of words. So the number of unique words by the total number of words. So the unique words mean that the words don't repeat. The words which are not repeating. So these words by the total number of words, which also includes these function words which repeat again and again and again. So basically, TTR, the type token ratio, scores the lowest value in conversations. In conversations, we tend to repeat words again and again, because of which the total number of words is more, and the words which are actually unique are very less, because the denominator is more, the value is less. Similarly, in newspapers, the type token ratio is more, because the number of unique words are more and the repetitive words are less. The numerator is more, so we get a good value. In academic prose writing also, the TTR value is less because there are a lot of repetitions and there's a lot of redundancy. Similarly, we have something called Zipf's law. Zipf's law is a very important law in natural language processing. This is actually text processing jargon that we need to remember and understand. So it is the relation between the frequency of the word, how many times it is repeating, and its position in the list, its rank. So relation between the frequency, the number of repetitions, to the rank of the word. For example, if I say, it is a sunny day, it is something which ranks first because it is the determiner. So it is at the beginning. So its rank is first. So its rank is the lowest, but its frequency is the highest. So frequency is inversely proportional to the rank where the word is present, the position of the word in the sentence. So frequency is inversely proportional to the rank of the word. So that is Zipf's law. Similarly, the number of meanings M of a word obeys the law. So for example, M is directly proportional to root of the frequency. What's the meaning of this? The meaning of the word changes when it repeats again and again and again. So for example, we just had an example where they say wills, will. Here, the word will is repeating again and again and again, but the context is changing, the meaning is changing every time. So that means that the number of meanings M of a word obeys the law. So If the frequency of the word is more, then it is bound to have multiple meanings, multiple connotative and denotative meanings. Similarly, we have something called stemming. It is a very important jargon in text processing and natural language. So, what is stemming? For example, if I say stopping, I can remove the ing and say stop. If I say stopped, I can remove the ed and say stop. So basically, it involves removing the suffixes and prefixes and affixes. So basically, it's removing the affixes, which are not necessary because we want to get to the root of the word, the real meaning of the word. So we just get rid of, we annihilate extras, that is, these suffixes or prefixes, or sometimes together called affixes. And we have something called lemmatization. In lemmatization, what we generally do is we reduce the word to their base form or the root form. But we see to it that the meaning of the word doesn't change. So here in lemmatization, we'll take an example. So for example, we have three different forms of the base word run, okay, of the root word run, which is running. Running here is an adjective. Runner, runner here is a noun. Runs here is a verb. So here in lemmatization, if the words are lemmatized, then running, runner and run is what we get. So the running, the adjective, the meaning hasn't changed. The runner, the meaning hasn't changed because it's the person. And run, the meaning hasn't changed, it's the verb. But if we do stemming here, what happens is running becomes run, runner becomes run, and run also transforms into run. So run, if it transforms or if it changes into run, there's no change in the meaning. But if runner becomes run, then what is happening is noun is changing into verb. The meaning is completely different now. If running becomes run in this context, then adjective becomes a verb. The total meaning of the sentence changes. There is drastic change because of which we are bound to get errors. So that is why lemmatization, which takes into account the real characteristic of the words without changing its part of speech, is more effective than stemming, which takes everything to the base without understanding the part of speech it belongs to and the context of the sentence. So for today's lecture, we have learned different things. This is just the beginning, guys. We'll have a lot of lectures to go forward, and definitely I'm confident that we will all master natural language processing and will become artificial intelligence experts. So, being from linguistics background, we are living in digital era. I strongly believe that digital humanities and computational linguistics is the future. Thank you so much. COVID first and second wave and the lockdown have impacted us. They have disrupted our lives. They made us vulnerable. But we had one savior that kept us going, that enthused us, that inspired us, that motivated us. That is digital media, new media, internet, or World Wide Web. The education became virtual. The corporate correspondences became virtual. Everything became remote. But we were all still connected. And this was made possible by computational linguistics and natural language processing. Though we are in March 2024, it still is applicable, and it's more applicable with the advent of technology. Thank you so much. Taking this into account, I strongly believe that this massive open online course on natural language processing that we are offering would definitely benefit you. because the technology is rapidly updating itself, rapidly growing, rapidly progressing, rapidly developing. It's making everything easy, accessible, and thereby it's ever relevant. So, computational linguistics is the new domain, the new dimension of the artificial intelligence era that we are living in. So, utilize this to the fullest. Understanding the attention span, I'll make sure that the lectures are short. I'll just not give you information, I'll also keep you entertained. So, I'll provide you with infotainment because we all crave for entertainment. And if there is an emotional connect with whatever we are learning, that only happens through entertainment. When we are in a stress free environment, acquisition actually happens. So, the method of teaching that I am employing is emotional teaching or emotional education or emotional instruction, which makes it easy for you to connect with the subject. Thank you so much. See you guys in the next lecture.